And now it's time for the part you've all been waiting for here today on Mark and Joe's Baseball Podcast, Episode 3, the prediction episode. It's time for our predictions. I'll start with Joe first. Give you our predictions, division winners, wildcard teams, who he thinks is going to hit a home run over the next 2 weeks, because we won't have an episode for 2 weeks after today, and who he thinks the pitcher is that's going to get the most wins in the next 2 weeks as well. Joe, over to you.
So I think the Twins are going to win the AL Central. The Blue Jays are going to win the AL East. The Rangers are going to win AL West.
Rangers, wow. Good, nice
The
pick.
Brewers is going to win NL Central.
Brewers, as always.
The Braves, which we're going to see.
Yeah, on our trip. Well, where else is
Yeah.
the Brewers on the trip, too?
Yeah,
In August, so we'll see.
it's going to win NL East.
Nice.
And the wild card, so NL West is the Dodgers.
Nice.
And the AL wild card,
The
Well-
Empire.
Royals, Rays, and Angels.
Nice.
And the NL wild card, Cubs, Giants, and Phillies.
Interesting.
And then the Mike Trout for home run for the next 2 weeks.
How many do you think he's going to hit?
He's he's gonna hit maybe 3.
Maybe 3. That's nice. And pitcher you think's going to get wins?
Yamamoto.
Oh, the Dodgers, nice. Japanese. Go with the Japanese pitcher. Nice. That's a fun one. That's always fun. It's a hard task to follow you up and give my predictions, I think, right now, but I'll do that. But I'm going to start different. I'm going to start with the AL Central as well. I'm going to go with the Cleveland Guardians as the number 1 team. They won the division last year, and they always seem to know how to win. But the AL Central over the past few years, watching the AL Central, it's like a 1-team division most of the season, except for the last year when they had 3 teams in. I'll tell you that what I think in a minute with the wildcard teams. But Cleveland's my AL Central pick. American League East, I'm going to go with the Yankees. The Evil Empire, who's won 27 World Series titles. The Yankees are the team I'm going with their kryptonite, Aaron Judge, and John Carlos Stanton. Even though Stanton's hurt right now, we'll see how that adds up. Paul Goldschmidt coming in from St. Louis. That's an interesting one, playing first base, because Anthony Rizzo's not in the picture anymore. And then for the AL West, I'm going to stick with the team that's been the AL West winner last few years. I know they had an early exit last year in the playoffs. The Houston Astros. One thing I think about Houston is this. Houston, they build on pitching. They build on young talent. Even though they lost Alex Bregman to Boston, I still think the Astros are one of those teams that are always the team to beat. I still think they make it back to postseason. I don't know if they get to the NLCS or the Division Series. So we'll see what happens to them in Houston. And the National League side, in the Central, I have the Brewers. Personally, I think the Brewers are one of those teams. They win the division the last few years, but they haven't been able to get out of the wild card round. They got beat by the Mets, and they got beat by the Diamondbacks last years. And both those teams, the Mets and Diamondbacks, Diamondbacks got to the World Series and lost in 5 to the Rangers 2 years ago. And then the Mets last year, they got to the NLCS and lost to the Dodgers. So we'll see what happens. In the National League East, I'm going to go with the Phillies as normal. Team that's won the division the last 2 years. I'm taking the Phillies again. Bryce Harper and all those young talent there. Kyle Schwarber can hit. And then out west, the National League West, I'm taking the Dodgers. The they're the new Evil Empire. They're like the New York Yankees. They keep winning their division. They've been to the World Series 4 times in the last 9 years since 2017. They've been to the World Series 4 times, won twice, lost twice. So Dodgers are there for me in the National League West. For the wild card picks, American League, I'm going to go with Baltimore, a team that was there last year. They lost to the Royals, though, but I also have the Royals in as a wild card team as well. You guys can see by the hat I'm wearing, right? The Royals hat. I have to go with the Royals as a team this year. I don't think the Royals exactly won the division in AL Central, but I think they can compete. That's what happened last year. And then the final AL wild card team is a team that made it last year. The Detroit Tigers, who are up and coming. Last year, the Tigers made the postseason and made it to the division series. Got beat by Cleveland, so there's that. So I'm going to go with the same teams in the American League that made it last year, the same 6. For the National League wild card team, I'm taking the Cubs. Cubs didn't make it last year, but I think they get there this year. San Diego Padres, I'll take the Padres as well. As a team, they've made it the last few years. And then the Diamondbacks, they made it to the World Series just 2 years ago, 2023. I think the Diamondbacks get back into the playoffs this year after missing last year by a game. And then for my home run pick over the next 2 weeks, I'm staying in Arizona though, in the desert. I'm going with Corbin Carroll because they're.
That's a good pick, yeah.
I think Corbin Carroll, he's great at hitting, can hit home runs, and I think a 4-game series. They start a 4-game series on Thursday against the Cubs. The Diamondbacks do, so that should be a good one to see. Corbin Carroll, and then I'm gonna go with his teammate, his newest teammate, who came in from Baltimore, Corbin Burns, pitcher, former Cy Young Award runner with the Brewers. I think he's gonna have the most wins in the next 2 weeks. So we'll have to wait and see how that plays out in the first 2 weeks, which those are my picks.
So you still pick Yankees or make them win the division even though they get Kurt Cole out?
Yeah, I think the Yankees will still win the division without Garrett Cole. There's no Yankees have pitching; they have a lot of young pitchers, but I think they still do it without him. And the Yankees, they're one of those teams the last few years with whoever's hurt, they step up whoever's hurt, and they continue to win.
Yeah.
I just want to know why the Blue Jays though? Why do you have the Blue Jays now in the AL East? Their team, I think that's a few years away because I'm concerned about the Blue Jays that the Vladimir Guerrero Jr. possibly getting traded. Do you think that happens, or do you think he's still? Do you think he's still?
I think so. There.
Do you think he's still a Blue Jay by the All-Star break or trade deadline in July?
I think so.
Interesting. You think that's why you think they'll win?
Yeah.
And why do you have the Rangers?
The Rangers?
You think they do good?
I think so. I'm not sure.
Okay, very, very interesting subject lines. Comment below who you think's going to do everything. Who your division winners are. Who's going to win the wild card teams. Who's going to hit the most home runs in the next 2 weeks, and who's going to be the pitcher with the most wins. You had some interesting ones, and I think I did too. Personally,
Yeah.
That's what I think. So yeah, there are our predictions for 2025 so far.